Good morning. This is day one of the vlog series. Thought here is I'll start off with a little morning spiel, talk about what I'm thinking of doing today, and then we'll get right into it, show some cool content of work here on the homestead. So today's going to be a fun one. I think today I'm going to keep on working on the main garden extension. So main garden's right over next to the cabina with the hugelcoulter and the first bed I ever made. And it used to be enclosed by bamboo with a whole like shade cloth that they use, people who used to live here use this like a fence to keep out the wildlife. I say let the wildlife in, which maybe I'll regret eventually when I wake up to find everything chewed up. You might be able to hear a dragonfly. See the little girl? It's a little bit too obsessed with the cabina light. They're a little bit slow when it comes to figuring out what's going on with their environment. Usually they'll come in, they'll start going crazy around one of the lights, and then they'll find one of the windows, which are screened in, and just keep on trying to get out. Yeah, it's a little bit sad. In the past, I picked them up by the tail to take them outside, but then they curl and they bite you. So the new method is using a cup or something to hold them in, and then bring them outside and let them free. They are beautiful, but a little bit dumb. Yeah, so I'm going to do the main garden extension. I was working on that yesterday. I'm building out like a 15 by 15 section with 3 or 4 beds. It's going to look pretty. We're going to put some wood around them. I'm going to finish the first bed I was making. Nothing fancy about it. Just I'm digging about a shovel deep, putting some organic matter back in, mostly rice husks. And yeah, and turning that clay into soil slowly but surely. We've also got plenty of content to shoot in the slope garden, which is what I call the garden in front of the cabina. We just had our first Tithonia, I think it's called rotundifolia. It's an annual Mexican sunflower, and it puts out beautiful red flowers. And the first one just came out, so I definitely gotta do something about that. And I'm not sure what else. We'll kind of let the day speak to me, but it could be most of the day putting together that main garden, that 15 by 15 section. So that's the plan. Yeah, first try at a morning intro, so they'll surely improve as time goes on. But thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoy this video. It's going to be fun. Another day on the homestead. So now we're back here in the cabina. I got some potatoes boiling here for JMS, which is a way to add life to the soil. That's a really cool one. So you boil potatoes. Potatoes got lots of carbohydrates and energy in them. And then you put that in water. There's also salt in there. So you put that in a bucket of water with what people call leaf mold. So that's gonna be me going into the jungle. I have a video of that, taking that walkabout. And I'm looking for soil underneath a lot of decomposed leaves that just looks really fungally rich. There's like maybe white mycelium and fungus growing, and also some of those leaves as well. And you put it into the water with this potato and salt mix, and then you let it sit for about 36 hours. And what ends up happening is it starts to bubble. There's all of this foam that develops at the top. And what's going on is just that the life in that leaf mold is now multiplying like crazy. So that potato is its food, and then they just grow and grow and grow, and before you know it, you've got trillions of microbes and fungal spores in this water. And then you apply that to your soil, and you're adding the jungle forest ecology into your garden. Because best case scenario for growing food, more often than not, is really to replicate forest ecosystems in terms of the biology of what's going on in the soil. The reason for that is, in nature, ecosystems are in this process of succession. So they might start as bare rock, maybe a volcano erupted and left all of the lava that turns into rock. Then you have things like lichens and mosses that start to colonize the rock and break it down, and slowly over time you build up soil. And as you go through time, which can take a long time if we're starting with lava rock, you're gonna go through different stages where plant communities change, the kind of stuff that's growing there changes, and eventually you reach what we would call a climax ecosystem. So for some parts of the world, that would be a savanna grassland with a few trees, but mostly these rich grasses, really diverse, that support a lot of life. And then you also have forests. And so those forest ecosystems are really robust and very fertile, and they enable the production of plants in a capacity that lower stages of succession can't. So the foods that we love, tomatoes, peppers, all of the things I'm going to be growing here, they do best in really fertile ecosystems. If you put a tomato seed in lava rock, it's not going to grow. And a lot of those other stages leading up to the climax, it also won't do well. So if we can bring that from the jungle into the garden, we're going to have the best food possible. That's the idea. But anyways, no more babbling. Let's make a smoothie.
Oh, hello, Rosita. How's it going, girl? Welcome to the head cam, everybody. It is noon o'clock, which means hot as heck. So I'm gonna try and avoid doing too much work in the open sun. It's a nice hot day today, clear skies and caliente. So the plan now is to head into the jungle to get me some forest biology that I'm going to propagate in a thing called JMS, or Jadam microbial solution. I'm gonna feed those microbes some potatoes and salt. And then in a day and a half, I'm gonna put it into the garden, especially the new garden beds that I'm currently working on. So Rosita will probably join me up into the jungle. This should be a fun one. First time taking video of me walking into the jungle. So hopefully this cam is situated good enough. Yeah, get some agua. So we're gonna bring this bucket here and we're gonna put what we find in here. It's gonna be a fun one. Rosita, venga. Yeah, she's down for it. That's what we like to see. Here we go. And it's just instantly, you can feel the shift. The climate changes, it gets cooler. And it's almost like the acoustics of it start to change as well. You start hearing a lot more crickets. Here we've got some really cool mushrooms. Look at that. This branch area, you can still see them going. Leafcutter ants have been climbing up this beautiful habillo for as long as I've been here, at least. Doing some pruning, taking care of the jungle, managing all the trees. Look at these beautiful berries. And so now over here, it's just, we're gonna be walking around on the side here of a pretty steep slope. Everything goes into a valley over here. And then you might not be able to see it, but I really don't know what this camera looks like at all. But this big tree here is a breathtaking one. And I've seen monkeys climbing up the vines, going maybe all the way to the top, who knows? Rosita just marked her territory and then she's covering her scent afterwards. She's a funny one. She's the only girl dog I've ever seen that pees like a boy dog. Lifts up her leg. So anywhere around here we could start looking for some good soil and fungal activity, but the higher we go, the better. Generally speaking, higher in altitude means the microbial life in the soil is more resilient, more robust. I don't know if you can tell with the camera, but we're doing a pretty decent incline right now. So the elevation changes pretty quickly. And here's where it starts to get a little, not treacherous, but this is the slip zone, baby. You go up this path right here, and you'll probably be fine on your way up, but on the way down, you can expect your butt to make contact with the soil. Let's make it up here. It's incredible how well, okay, so this tree, quick tangent, even more just awe-inspiring than the last one I pointed out. Hundreds of years old. Maybe she's eclipsed the 4-digit mark. 1,000-year-old grandma, perhaps. Who knows how tall. few hundred feet. It's just really incredible. But yeah, what I was gonna say is it's incredible how well nature utilizes light. There's all of these plants here, some of which are barely ever getting light, but they soak up almost every drop of the sun's power and they turn it into complex life. It's a very particular type of leaf down here usually, some wide leaves, more surface area for sun, usually a pretty waxy coating too. And the way you can see the light hit the leaves there, where you're getting some direct sun. That might be a gabilan tree, I'm not sure. But it's beautiful, those little thin leaves and how they just glow in the sun. One of the most beautiful things about going into the jungle is how small you feel and how humbled you can be. Especially since I'm new to this area. If I went off trail, I would so easily get lost. It starts to become really hard to orient yourself. Rosita's caught up. How's it going, girl? You having fun? We've been on jungle hikes and like not even with the dogs to start, and they will just pop out of nowhere. Even when you're at the top of the mountain, they just show up. It's really amazing. Okay. So, if I'm not mistaken, we're gonna come up on a kind of flat part right here. Yeah. And this is a wonderful spot to collect. So now what I'm looking for is a big tree. Ideally it's deciduous, meaning that its leaves fall at some point in the year. And then we want to collect right at its base. Now you see this tree's got some marking on it. It's because the previous owner had a surveyor come here and mark the trees that would be good for wood. So this is marking that this tree, you can harvest it and get a few pretty pennies. But luckily he never went about that route. He had a pretty good mindset too about wanting to care about nature and be a part of it, not against it. So this looks like a nice spot under this tree. And you see here we've got some white fungus. It's a great sign. Yeah, so like right here, some beautiful black soil, and this is going to have such an abundance of life in it. Now think this, it was all clay before. Without any human intervention, nature made black, rich soil. And instead, most of agriculture is just turning black, rich soil into inert matter, dirt. But this is very alive. Okay, so that should be more than enough. You see, we're really not taking much at all. So this is where the role of humans in the ecosystem can take a really interesting turn. Most of our history would suggest that we just do harm, but so what I'm doing right now is collecting a handful of soil from the jungle, and I'm going to turn this into about 35 liters of liquid that is absolutely chock full of life. And I'm going to put that in my garden where I'm going to have living roots, plants growing. I'm going to be giving it lots of love. And I'm going to be multiplying what's in this bit of soil into hopefully the entirety of my garden. And so I'll have to keep on doing this over and over again to really get things established, but eventually to get to a point, if I'm managing the garden right, where it starts to really turn on its own. But basically what I'm trying to get at is we can add our knowledge and our energy and our will or desire to do stuff, to help nature, to expand, to replicate, to grow, to continuously follow the trajectory of succession into more and more complex and abundant systems, ecosystems. So now, all I'm looking for are, I would like to get some leaves that have really good fungus on them as well. So we're gonna look around this tree, see if we can't make it a one-stop shop situation. So here, this is what I'm talking about. These white bits here. And sometimes I'll take really big leaves too, it just depends on what I find. So we're just gonna take a little bit more, like so. This white. I'm just gonna get to a nice spot to sit. And I'm just gonna soak it in and just contemplate the gratitude that's so easy to feel in a place like this. This jungle is helping create rainfall in this area to make it more habitable. It's creating resources to be used, medicine and fibers and food. Now, there's not a crazy amount of food in the jungle like this, but there's a lot of medicine and fiber. And it supports animals as well that you could use for food. Wow, look at this. I've never seen a fungus like this before. That's incredible. So yeah, maybe I'll hang out here by the novel fungus with Rosita, my loyal companion. And I'll just pan up here a little bit. And I'll keep recording for a bit, and then I'll eventually turn this off. But yeah, this is the jungle. Welcome. Happy to have been able to take any YouTube viewers along the journey with me. But now it's time for some quiet. Just a real quick got a real quick vlog for you guys here. This bug that I featured on one of my videos recently, that I filmed, not that I've released. Nothing's on YouTube yet. Well, it's on a sunflower. Here, check it out. This little minion has been on this exact leaf for like 2.5 days. I'm guessing maybe it eats bugs and it just waits for bugs to come here. But the homie's got wings. He can go wherever he wants. But it's just this leaf, man. That's all he needs. It's kind of crazy. Like, I don't see like eggs or anything that if this is a mama, if she was like protecting something. I don't know, man. He's just chilling on this leaf. I approve. Welcome to the family. Now known as Jerry. Welcome home, Jerry. Taking a little stroll through the jungle. Again, I stumbled upon this leaf that's just covered in these bugs. Check this out. What are these guys doing? They're not dead. Yeah. Sorry. disturb you like that. They hop like crickets. What are these things? We'll leave the rest be. How neat though. All just grouped up, little family reunion. Guys, it has been a hot day today, and I feel like after being in the States for almost 3 weeks, I wonder if I have to reacclimate a little bit because I was feeling it. I had a nice morning session working in the garden. Built a garden bed here in this extension to one of my gardens that I'm working on right now. Here you go. Hopefully you can see it there. Looking good. Now I got my tripod with me. I'm about to go for number 2. So the sun is now finally not scorching. But yeah, I had a nice lazy early afternoon, mostly just cooking food. Made my first batch of rice and beans with culantro since I've been here on the farm. Culantro is like cilantro, but there's a variety that just grows wild here. It's like a weed. There's a bunch of it down in the lowlands of the farm here where my brother lives and where most of the farm is located. So yeah, that was delicious, but now I've also got a full belly, so I'm feeling it. All I want to do is sleep, but we got to keep on working, chugging along to become self-sufficient. You know, it ain't easy, but I'm stoked to get back to work here and start sweating again. Had a nice trip into the jungle today. Hadn't been there since I got back, and honestly don't go there enough. So yeah, I want to make that more of a thing. I made a video about it that might get released, put onto this video. We'll see, but it was a beautiful experience. Rosita joined me, and now she's here sleeping in her little spot. Yesterday she dug a hole where her butt is, and she's the funniest girl. So she'll dig a hole, and that's right where her butt goes. Before, so kind of like right here in between this bed and the hugelcoulter, excuse me, there was 3 holes. No idea why they were there, but like the people that were living here last, I guess, which was years ago, like 6 years ago, had 3 holes dug there, and she would just go right into them and plop her butt in and then just start chilling, which I absolutely love. Her energy is top notch. Lessons to be learned from this good old dog. But yeah, so we're gonna get back into this working situation here. Time to go back to farming. Bed's gonna go here. Gonna have a little gap in between, probably about 16 inches. But I'm gonna double check that's enough to fit that rake. And then, yeah, we're gonna get right to it. It's gonna be shorter than this one, because the idea here, I'm thinking now. All right, so actually a quick tangent. One of the beautiful things about farming like this, especially when you're fortunate enough to own the property and it's you farming for yourself, is that you have total creative control. And often I have an idea for what I want a project to end up looking like, but as I go through the process of actually putting it together, things just about always change. But that's good. It's just adapting and getting creative with it, which is so much fun. That creativity is very enlivening and fulfilling, invigorating. But yeah, so at first I thought it was going to be 3 beds that are going to be equal size, so the same length. This is 15 feet here, just about. But now that I did this bed and I've been hanging out here, now I'm thinking there's going to be a circle around this tree here, just of mulch, of wood shavings that I'll get from a local store, really cheap. And that's going to be a walkway. And then, so basically you'll be able to come through here. So this chaya that's planted right there will be like the border almost. Well, actually what's going to happen is the chaya is going to be part of a circle. I might plant stuff around it at the base. And then there's going to be more circles that go around like that in a half circle around this tree. And then on this side will be the beds. So the second bed's going to be shorter to accommodate that circular path. I want it to be symmetrical and even all the way around. And then the third bed, which I think is going to be the last bed. At first I was thinking 4, but 3 is the number, it seems. That's going to be another 15-foot bed. So that should be fine. That should be cleared past the circle. And then it'll just be a nice aesthetic walkway. So I could definitely arrange it differently to be more quote unquote efficient, like have more grow area. But I gotta tell you, the aesthetics I think are so invaluable. the more beautiful your garden is, the more inspiring it is, and you should enjoy being there, and yada yada, you know? So it's gonna come through here, and there's this whole space here where things can sprawl, but I'm also thinking now that I might put a couple circles in between here too to have some plants growing up. And then, but the sprawl areas for squashes and pumpkins that will go on the edge of these two beds here and kind of meet in the middle like that. So hopefully there'll be times when this whole place is just kind of covered in green, which would be very cool. But I'm not so sure how things are going to grow on top of this mulch. Obviously, like, the plants will be put in the bed, so they'll have more nutrition there. But mulch tends to allegedly suck nitrogen because it needs nitrogen to break down. So the microbes that are going to be breaking down wood need a lot of nitrogen. So that can draw a lot from your plants and end up in anemic plants, or plants that are like yellowing and not that vibrant green you're looking for. So we'll see, but eventually this stuff will get more and more broken down. And then, yeah, you'll be able to come through here. I'm not sure exactly what's going to go on in this general area. I think there might be maybe something going on right here, like in between these two chayas. But like I'm saying, I'm just going to let myself work and get creative and adapt to what seems to unfold on its own. Both of them will have the circle beds that are going to be marked around with stone, which I think will look really pretty. So I've got stone here on this bed too, which I really like as a border. Hard to see in some places, but yeah, there's stone. Or rocks. I don't know when a rock becomes a stone, or when a stone becomes a rock. Philosophical question for you guys to ponder for me. And then, so there's going to be a circle there, and then maybe there's going to be a path that goes like this. I don't really need to access anything over there for the most part. I can just kind of walk through the garden and it'll be fine. But yeah, just something pretty, you know? Got to enjoy it and kind of make it like art. The farm that I was staying at in Florida had a brilliant mind running it. So it was a man and his wife. They're both just beautiful individuals. And the guy just said how he treats his garden like a mandala, where you do all of this effort to make it pretty, and then eventually it'll get overgrown, or things will die, or things will just keep on changing because it's just nature doing her thing. But you still appreciate that process of making it pretty, and then for however long it looks the way you were intending, and it can be really beautiful. Or I guess how you were intending plus nature's little twist. So I think this is just a valuable way to go about this farming lifestyle, and I guess life in general. Treat it like art. Treat it like an art project, just an opportunity to use your time and energy and knowledge and skill set to bring some extra beauty in the world. So yeah, enough musings from me. We're gonna get to working now. Yeah, all right, over and out for now. another day in the books, at least for daylight hours. It's about 5 o'clock, so we got half an hour before it's dark. Good day. Got some stuff done. Got to see also monkeys and aura pendulums. So that was pretty insane. Digging this hole here, and then, so that's all done, which is nice. But then the noises were crazy. I've never seen them in these kind of numbers before, at least on this farm. And they were just swarming, going to and fro to the different trees. And the noises they make are unreal. It almost sounds like computer generated. They might be fake. They might be robots. It's up for debate, but they are beautiful birds with their crazy yellow tails, and they make the most insane nests, which I have one. But don't worry, I didn't steal it. It just fell off a tree. So they'll make nests on huge, super tall trees. And yeah, I'll just take you over to take a gander at what they look like. So they're really cool. So this right here is the nest. And if anyone wants to explain to me how they weave this, that would be some much appreciated information, because it's kind of insane. Like, I don't think I could do that with my opposable thumbs. And they're doing it with a beak. So they are serious craftsmen. They build that on huge trees. I think there's a couple of species that they really prefer. I can't remember off the top of my head. And I can't remember what kind of tree that they... So basically that nest came from the farm where I was living at before I lived here on my farm, on the family farm. And I don't know what the tree was that they made the nest in, but it was really neat because I have some footage of this. So maybe I'll throw this up. Patreon content. But this is the theory, okay? So there was a smaller tree where there was nests, but the nests were also really small too. So the thought was the little kids, the little babies, the teenagers, they practice making their nests there, and then they go to the big tree to make the real deal once they figure out how to do it. Because they made the small nests, but they never lived in them, and then they just abandoned them. Some of them weren't even completed. And then, yeah, all these nests on the big tree. So yeah, that's about the size they get, but there's some that are bigger. Yeah, and they're super cool. Anyways, second hole down. So tomorrow we'll be back filling this, putting plantanillos probably, just like I did here. Those green leaves on the bottom with the leftover calcium powder I have. And then we'll do backfill, some more bamboo, just like I did here, and then fill it up. So basically just recreating this, just a little bit minier. And then it's on to the third one. So I thought there was gonna be 4 at first, but there's definitely just gonna be 3. I was checking out the sunlight today. That bed gets really nice sun. I think that actually gets more sun than anything here in this main garden, because it just capitalizes pretty early. It gets sun at 9, which is like right over there, and then 10 o'clock, it's like getting it beamed, and it keeps getting it throughout the day with little patches of shade in that first like 6 of it doesn't get as much sun, but this should be a really nice bed. So yeah, 3 makes sense because back here it's just pretty shady. Not worth it. But I'm thinking here it's going to be a combo of plants. I'm always going for a polyculture. I think growing just one plant is very boring. Might be convenient for one reason or another, but I don't think it's worth it. So, but basically the main crops I want to put here are chia seeds. They're supposed to have really pretty flowers. I just looked up Google Images, never seen them in person. They looked awesome. And I also love chia seeds. If you guys haven't tried chia pudding with coconut milk, highly recommend. Top-notch way to start the day with some fresh fruit on top. But yeah, I'm gonna want to do chia, I want to do alfalfa, and I want to do stinging nettle. So the alfalfa and stinging nettle, I don't plan on consuming. The stinging nettle maybe as medicine. But those are really good crops for making fertilizers for the gardens too. So the long-term goal is that I'm making all of the food I give to the plants on the farm. So it's about to be, the new moon is coming up, the dark moon. So we just hit the last quarter moon today. So last quarter moon to new moon is kind of like, you're better off not planning anything for the most part. But once the new moon hits, then we're putting seeds in the ground. So that's super exciting. So I have about a week. I have until like the 24th. So almost 2 weeks to finish prepping this garden, and then also hopefully build a couple more gardens. So there's this one here, but then some content to look forward to in the future is Also, check out Jerry. He switched leaves, but he's still on the same sunflower. I'm starting to think he's just like that sunflower's guardian protector, keeping all the grasshoppers away. And now we're coming up to the ridge. Look at this beautiful Mexican sunflower. Ooh. Another one here. You're also pretty, even though you're small. So this whole area here, I want to make a garden too. Well, not the whole thing, I don't think. We'll see. I need to check again to see how the sunlight hits, but maybe up to, well, I can't even see where I'm pointing because the tripod thing's in the way, but there's a tree over there that I pruned, so it's kind of just chopped. Maybe up to there, should be a good distance. But maybe also just to this coconut tree. Like if you drew a line down that coconut tree. And that, I think, will be a pretty sweet spot to grow as well. So it's gonna get a good amount of shade. I was gonna say from the coconut, but let's be real, it's gonna be from that tree. So in the morning, it's not gonna get any sun. It really won't get sun until pretty late, because that point there might be like 10:30, maybe a little bit later, 10:45. But it will get sun all the way down there, which is like, if I'm not mistaken, like 2:30. So that's not too shabby. 4 hours. An older version of me would be like, not nearly enough for a veggie garden, but just about everything's getting 4.5 hours. So with how things are looking, I think, yeah, let's just plant wherever we can, because this is all just clear. So it's just begging to have some plants in there. So I just gotta clean all of that up. There's a lot of branches from the Soto Caballos that I pruned, that one especially, but also the one back there. And yeah, and it's got all sorts of stuff growing, shrubs and these malunga type looking plants with the big leaves. So that'll take some time, but that'll be a fun project, and that will make for some good content. The more work, the more content. It's all good. So yeah, I think over and out for now. Maybe you'll get a dinner video, I don't know. But for now, ciao. All right, thought I was done making content for the day, but I just can't stay away. I was gonna go into Puerto to see a buddy, give him some stuff I brought from the US, but he went radio silent on me. So I was at my brother's house to get some Wi-Fi to see if I got a text. Ended up just taking a shower and hitching back up to the cabina. But I decided to route myself through the garden first, and it's soursop season. And if you don't know what that is, you're about to find out. So yeah, let's dig in. All right, guys, you ready for this? I'm gonna give you a little plot. There's some ASMR soursop, baby. So that is her. She is it. So, if you've never seen one of these before, they're pretty gnarly. It's like a huge dragon egg. I kind of regret plopping it down. Now all that juice is gonna leak out. all good. But yeah, this is a soursop, and I really know just about nothing about it, except for how it tastes. 'Cause I got it right here, I can eat it. So these trees, I didn't even know what they were when we first got here, but now I know what they are, because these are on them. So it is soursop season, baby. And so basically, this whole thing is just pulp in here. There's a core in the middle, but off of that is all of these like little sections, yeah? And this is a seed packet. This is the pulp around a seed, but not all of them have seeds. Let's see if we can find one with a seed. Here you go. It peels right off, which is really cool. So there's a seed in there. And you could pull that out if you wanted to. Yeah, and now it's on the ground, but that's how you grow a soursop. I don't know how long it takes to fruit. I really do know nothing. But you harvest them when they start to get a little soft when you touch them. This one's really soft, so it might have been harvested a little bit late, but still tastes good, so all is well. But you can harvest it, and you can kind of keep it for a bit. My brother says if you refrigerate it, it tastes amazing, so I'm about to do that after I chow down a little bit here. But you eat this. Well, I say eat, but I don't know if anyone actually swallows it. Basically, you plop it in your mouth, you give it a chew, and it's just filled with juice. You can even see here, like, this thing's just juicy. Yeah. So that's candy. It's almost like a Jolly Rancher. It's kind of insane. So it's pretty sweet. This part's really fibrous, so it gives you a good chew. And then the liquid just comes right out, and it's literally like eating candy, which is just epic. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you find fruit in temperate climates that is like candy-like. You gotta like add sugar and bake it or do whatever to, you know, you can make apples taste pretty good, right? But to pick something off of a tree, just rip out a little bit, put it in your mouth, and you feel like you're eating candy, like that's next level. So this is a really cool one. There's also biriba, or custard apple, so look that one up. That's another really cool one. It looks like this, sort of, but smaller, almost more dragon egg-like, and it's yellow when you harvest it. And that one, you can see all the seeds, like kind of look like this, but I think bigger, if I remember correctly. But basically you scoop it out, and then you eat it, and then you just don't swallow the seeds if you can help it. And it literally tastes like vanilla custard. So if you put it in the fridge, and you eat it after it's nice and cold, it's like chowing down on ice cream, which is insane. But look at this thing, it's huge. Just about all the ones in the tree are about this size, some are even bigger. The juice is just insane. No idea if it's nutritious, but who cares, it tastes good. So if you need a pick-me-up, if you need some sugar in your system, that's your lady. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Probably too much to eat for one person, we'll see. I feel like I'd get sick if I ate all that. No idea how long it will last. I'm telling you, I'm ignorant as heck. But I can tell you it tastes good. It tastes really good. So we'll see how she is when she's nice and cold. But yeah, over and out. Soursop.